But anyway, so this is a quick training anyway, and just kind of one of those things that, just again, kind of celebrate and enjoy this final push. Well, I'm the opposite. All of my shopping is done. Nothing is wrapped. All of my shopping is done, but I don't have anywhere to put it, so it's currently taking up an entire closet in the house. So, all right, so for the next couple of days between now and whenever your kind of official holiday time is over, this is the only time of year that I say it's okay to be generous with your office hours. Here's the thing. When you're thinking about your team, this is the time they may need you. The excitement, the overwhelm, the intensity of this final push, you have to be present for. So make sure that you are very present in your team Facebook group. If you have, calls or webinars or whatever, even if you end up with, not a lot of people showing up to it, you got to be there. You got to be present. You have to show this is not the time to slow down. Switching gears to 2017, yes. Getting excited about the future and keeping that going, yes. But don't think that even though you have, 3 days left to get orders in or whatever, that this isn't prime time. People work better under pressure. That's why the malls will be packed on Christmas Eve. So you can kind of utilize that mentality and shopping strategy to create your own Christmas Eve, so to speak, on that final selling day. And that's one of the things that you can, there's Dina, hey! And that's one of the things that you can talk about to your team. When is your Christmas Eve? Because if you look at the numbers of people that actually do their shopping on Christmas Eve, it's actually kind of staggering that there are so many of them. And so you can, again, create your own Christmas Eve of whatever your holiday shopping schedule or shipping schedule is, which is actually way down here. My slides are out of order. So you can begin talking about that, whether you have 3 days, 8 days, some people have like 15-ish days. When is your Christmas Eve? And that is what the mentality is. That is the verbiage and stuff that you want to use with your team so that they kind of understand that last minute urgency when your corporate office gives a shipping schedule that is still, a week or so, 2 weeks before the holidays. That sense of urgency you as the leader have to cultivate. And you might be where I am, where I know Dina is. I'm sitting here in short sleeves. It's 80 degrees outside. So to tell me that my last minute Christmas, is within just a couple of days, it's still kind of hard to wrap my brain around. It's funny because I looked on Facebook because somebody said, it's always this hot in Florida. I looked on Facebook, that whole, on this day thing. Like for the last 5 years, it has been cold today. And today I'm like sweating to death. So talk with your team about when is your Christmas Eve and start using that verbiage. Now is the time to be working with people one-on-one. If there are people on your team that you haven't heard from, that haven't placed orders, that haven't whatever, pick up the phone. Here's the reason why, and I'm going to get real tough love with you right now, okay? Here's the thing. If they still want to be in business, you need to let them know that you're there, that you want to help them in 2017, that what can you do for this final push? If they don't want to be in business, get excited. Sorry, guys, I thought I had this off. Get excited that you're not going to have to waste time on them in 2017. I know that sounds harsh, but here's the thing. I have leaders that come to me and they're like, oh my God, I have 100 people on my team. And I'm like, great, what are your monthly sales? They're like, $5,000. I'm like, wait a minute, that doesn't add up. And they're like, oh, well, there's 100 people on my team, but only 10 people are active. Okay, guys, listen. We put way too much pressure on ourselves about having 100 people. If 90 of them are not doing the business, we don't have a team of 100. We have a team of 10. And that's not a bad thing. And it's not to say we're going to abandon the 90. But it does mean that we get to take a little bit of pressure off ourselves and work with who is working. This is the time. If people are not doing parties right now, not placing orders right now, and whatever, when we are in slam dunk territory, when literally everybody is shopping, when literally everybody should be booked up right now because they work their business, then you have to figure out why. You have to figure out why it is what it is that they want going forward to 2017. So run a downline report. Pick up the phone and call. Don't shoot an email. Don't send a text. Don't send a Facebook message unless you call first and you can't get through. Then it's okay. But pick up that phone and ask. That person signed up with you somehow, whether it was online, in person, at a party, whatever, and you're their person. So you pick up the phone and ask. So working one-on-one is super important, and making sure you're still motivating as a whole. Right now, you are both a coach and a cheerleader. It is 2-minute warning, okay? Y'all know, love my football analogies, right? It is 2-minute warning, and you are down by 3, okay? You have to coach, because we can't just get a field goal. We need a touchdown, all right? So we can't have it. We have to go for the gold. And we may have to pull out a Hail Mary. Like, this is when all the stops get pulled out. This is when nothing is off limits. There are some rules within your P&P with your corporate office, but other than that, it's it. So right now you're playing coach because you need them to win, not tie, win. But you've also got to cheerlead. You've also got to keep the momentum. We're almost there. It's 2-minute warning. Almost there. So make sure that you are still cheering very, very loudly. You're playing at home, and if you've ever watched football, and if you haven't, get on YouTube and just watch the 2-minute warnings and what happened. Because the thing is, those cheerleaders, they're going to lose their voice in that last 2 minutes. Those fans, they're not going to be able to speak the next day. Their throat is going to be so sore from those last 2 minutes. And when you win, when you are down and you win, and the whole place erupts. And that's what you have to imagine. That's what you have to bring and embody. We got a few days left. They got a few minutes left. It's that same type of mentality. So how do you get them excited? Because, one of the things that I've heard is, I can't compete with the stores. I can't compete with Amazon. I can't compete with whatever. You have to continuously point out what it is that your company offers that the big stores do not. What is it that you guys bring to the table that Amazon cannot? And one of the biggest ones is simply you. Your customer service, your ability to take care of people. We're in a society where people feel like numbers, and where it's just about, I had so many friends of mine that their holidays were practically ruined because the UPS people didn't even knock. They just left this big unwrapped package on the front door so the kiddo gets home from school, or the kid, whatever. And so I said, I'll be happy. You can, Santa can deliver here. And the thing is, you guys may have seen that on Facebook. The thing is, I got a lot of messages, and I've got I may not have my Christmas tree up, but I've got a garage full of Santa presents. And people just really thought, they were like, wow, that's really cool. That's really, because it's true. UPS drivers, they're just throwing things on the front door and going. The point is, it was something outside of the box. It was something that took care of a need. I saw a need, people complaining on Facebook, and something that I could help and could fix. So when you're talking to your team, when you're talking to your customers, when you're talking to hostesses, when you're talking to anybody, remember that there are certain things that you can offer that a big box store is never going to be able to compete with and never going to be able to offer. They're too big. You get to capitalize on little and make sure that you are coaching the team to do so as well. In addition to those services and stuff, make sure that you as the leader are constantly introducing sales opportunities and sales suggestions. So maybe in the Facebook group, remember that thread that we had in the Diva community where I said, you know, who has something for runners? Who has something for stay-at-home moms? Who has something for teenagers? Who has something for men? That type of thing. Make sure that you are posting these ideas and stuff in your group too. Don't assume that everyone knows that this particular product would be fantastic for a runner or what have you. Get on PicMonkey, get on Canva, create gift guides and share them and let your team share them out. If you create a gift guide in Canva and then you have a little, you know, square on the bottom where somebody can toss it into PicMonkey and put their own information on it, it's okay to help your team in that way. You don't want to make that, you know, you're not going to spend your whole day in life and whatever on Canva from now on. But those type of last minute sales activities and sales suggestions can really help them get those last minute sales. Again, it's Hail Mary time, so you can spend a little bit of time, spend a couple extra hours really getting stuff out in these last few days. Because here's the thing, you got to jingle all the way. We've got to cheer, we've got to jingle, we've got to whatever, all the way to the final minute. And then the thing is, we have to keep going. It's part of leadership. I'm not telling you not to enjoy the holidays. This should be the best time of year for you too. You should be super excited about this. You've had a heck of a year. This has been a good year. So you want to keep it going, keep it excited, jingle all the way. If you're going to be known, right? You're known for your team or something. Be the silly one. I used to, in October, start wearing jingle bells to my meeting. I used to have Christmas carols going, you know, in my November meeting, and it would go all the way down to the wire and then a big Christmas party. Because the thing is, you want to be the person that is the obnoxious Christmas lover or the obnoxious, you know, jingle, whatever, over being the person who was quiet or wasn't there or was bah humbug or what have you. You know, you're leading by example here, and so your team is going to kind of follow suit. And it isn't all the time what we say as much as it is what we do. It's very much like parenting in that way. So whatever it is that you want your team to do, you need to be doing as well. So if you are wanting them, because they're going to repeat whatever it is that you do. So if you put together a gift guide and share that image, they're going to share that image. They're going to put their information, they're going to share that image. It should only take you about 15 minutes to put something like that together in Canva. And if it gets one of your team members that maybe hasn't sold anything in a while, a sale, guess how excited he or she is going to be. Guess how, I mean, the thing, going back to football again, this is the part that I love about football, guys. This is why I could not care less who is actually playing. I love the analogy of football. There is a momentum shift that happens, and it's remarkable when that happens. There was a game, I don't even remember who it was, that I was just kind of watching this weekend. While we were at ShiftCon, we were at lunch. Anyway, they took the lead by like 1 point, and there was still plenty of time left. So it wasn't, you know, it wasn't like they had won the game. They certainly didn't secure anything, but they started something. And so what ended up happening was that they kind of steamrolled through, and they ended up winning the game. But it only took, and it was like a field goal or something. Like, it was a super close game but they had not been ahead at all. And once they got ahead, there was a whole momentum shift. And that happens in sports, that happens in life, that happens with runners, that happens with, you know, I mean, it happens everywhere. It happens everywhere. So make sure that you're leading by example, because you can never underestimate the power of one thing that works, one thing that helps someone to get ahead. So even though sometimes as leaders it feels like we are kind of doing the same things over and over and over, it's what we do. And sometimes we don't know what is going to catch. We don't know what is going to make that momentum shift. I had people on my team that would be on my team for an entire year as practically lurkers, and then all of a sudden they decided to do the business and would turn into a total rock star. So, lead by example. They should always, always, always be looking up to you and what it is that you are doing. And to kind of switch gears, here's the other thing that we have to be really mindful of too. It is the 2-minute warning. It is the end. So those people that are down by way more than anyone could ever score, you have to be gentle. You have to be understanding. For some, it's been a really, really tough year. You know what? It's been a good year, but it's been a tough year. I think we all should be very proud of ourselves for getting through it with things that went on in our country, around the world. It's been a good year, but it's been a tough year. So when you have people on your team who are feeling down, who are feeling disappointed, this is a very difficult time. January is the #1 time that people quit direct sales. Okay? You have this group of people that get fired up and excited, and they're going to slam 2017, the new year, and you get people that look back and say, I didn't do well this year. Maybe I'm not cut out for this. And so you have to be gentle. You have to be understanding. People get sad. They set goals, and sometimes they didn't reach it. They didn't even get close to it. And that may be even true for you. I haven't reached all of the goals that I set for this year. So be gentle and be okay. And you know what? Sometimes you have to address the elephant in the room. Address it privately. But if you've got somebody, who you knew just was really, really excited and had some really incredible goals and are not going to hit it, talk to them about it. Okay? Because there's a little bit of an upset that goes along with that. And when you do, you have to celebrate what did work. Okay? So, maybe they didn't hit, $1 million club, but they recruited 30 people or, something along those lines. So you have to celebrate what is good. And as a great leader, you have to always celebrate what is good. Always look for what is good. You cannot spend your time on what is wrong and trying to help people fix what is wrong. If you spend 100% of your time trying to fix people, then you miss the opportunity to talk about what's good. You miss the opportunity to celebrate what's right, trying to always fix what is wrong. It's a different mentality, and it's something that I think as leaders we feel like we have to train, like it's almost parenting a little bit. But sometimes we just have to say, oh my God, let's go get ice cream. Like, so what? We missed something. Like, let's go get ice cream anyway. Go get ice cream because it's Tuesday. Go, whatever. Make sure that you are always looking for what's good. You should always be looking for something to celebrate. Always. Even in the darkest time, roughest time, crappiest time, slowest time, whatever. Okay? Always be looking for good. And the final thing is to not let things just fall off as soon as Santa ships out, all right? We got to keep it moving. The next month, when we flip over that calendar, is that month that starts with J, and that is one of notoriously the lowest months of the year. But it doesn't have to be. You can coach it, you can lead it, you can cheer it through into January and then February, and things kind of level out again. The roller coaster of direct sales is 100% optional. It's 100% optional. So don't feel like you can't help influence that. You can balance it out. You can help people to grow and have the constant momentum up and not be doing this. But it's going to lie in you. It's a lot of responsibility. I get it. Being a leader is a lot of responsibility, but you're capable.